Hi everyone, this is Sean. I'm filming in my garage. I have this strange setup where I have my iPhone connected on a tripod, and then that tripod is flexible and it grabs onto a dolly. And then I have my kid running around, so excuse me, you hear any racket. Topic of today's video, I'm gonna address a question that was posed from Benton. Guys, a lot of people that watch videos, generally on YouTube, a lot of them read all the comments. And I know that a lot of you read the comments that are on my videos, and a lot of you tend to go to the channel of the person who's making some of these comments, whether they're good or bad, but most of the comments are really good. Some of you guys, you impress me. The comments on some of my videos have better information than the actual video that I presented on that particular day. I have to admit that. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. You guys know that. You guys fill in the void. A lot of times, if I forget something, I'll see it in the comment section below. So, awesome community. Today's video, let's talk about a question that was posed from Benton, and in my memory serves me right, his question or comment revolved around 2 points. Number one, he was talking about some type of unarmed taser license. So it would be called an armed taser license. Now, I don't know what state Benton is in, but I'm in California, so a lot of the topic tend to be California biased. This is not professional advice. This is not legal advice. Please consult with the laws in your state. Consult with a licensed attorney. The other part of the question revolved around the negative stigma with unarmed private security. Just a security officer just being unarmed, there's negative stigma attached to that. So let me first address that concern. I believe that there is negative stigma attached to unarmed private security. You have, I wouldn't say the general public, but you have these troublemakers that they tend to scope out the equipment that you have on your belt. And once they see that you're unarmed, sometimes they treat you a lot differently. Now, when you're armed, sometimes people treat you differently. They're thinking, well, hey, this guy is seriously trained, even though you might not be seriously trained, even though you might even have professional training. That's beyond what your state requires for you to carry as a licensed armed security officer. People don't know that. They associate a guard who's armed with somebody who has higher skill level, and that might not be true all the time, or not even true most of the time. So let's talk about this negative stigma. Generally, when I'm working unarmed, and it's been a long time, you guys know that I work in law enforcement. I don't do security, but I have worked armed security and unarmed security. When I'm working unarmed, my situational awareness is up to here, and I tend to not insert myself in situations where I can get hurt because I'm unarmed. And guys, when I say I'm unarmed, that I work unarmed, I'm talking about unarmed. No baton. Tasers were not really available in the late 90s. You're talking about nothing. I mean, no pepper spray. We're not allowed to carry that stuff. Nothing. The only weapon, obviously your mind is a weapon if you use it right, was the long, I think it's a D-cell flashlights. They had 3 or 4 cells. There was a mag light, and if you had the stream light back in the 90s, you were the cool guy. Only the cool guys had the stream light, which was like this long, and you can use that as an impact weapon. So were you armed? Not really, not for state licensing purpose. And I would carry that where a gun would normally be, on the strong side. And I would always hold on to it when I approach somebody, just in case I needed to hit them. Now, this is not a video about whether or not it's legal to use a flashlight as an impact weapon, or whether it's within your policy. That video has nothing to do with it. We're just talking about, I'm just giving you details on how I worked unarmed. So most companies allow you at least to carry a flashlight, but guys, when you're unarmed, you tend to avoid a lot of these dangerous situations, but your situation awareness is, whoa, it's like this, and you tend to take less risk. Now, I'm gonna be the first to admit on camera to the public, when I worked armed security, I thought I was Superman. You know, I just completed my basic firearms permit course, which is supposedly a standard in California. And I thought I was on top of the world because I didn't have any additional training. Excuse me. Because I was armed, I inverted myself in dangerous situations. I approached suspicious vehicles where there could be somebody there that had intentions on harming me. It's like drinking alcohol. You get the liquid courage. The same thing with a gun. If you're unarmed, you tend to, depending on who you are, but what I see with unarmed private security, a lot of them, they communicate very well. They're able to get themselves out of situations. My hat's off to you, those of you who are unarmed, and I say that with quotation marks. You guys, even though you don't want to put yourself in dangerous situations, you are already in the situation. You gotta be sometimes a better thinker than those who are armed. It takes I want to say it takes a lot of skill to work unarmed. Now, as for Benton's question or comment about a taser armed license, so I'm in California. I'm not a believer in having people be licensed in certain things, like have a license to carry a firearm. I believe any weapon that any person would reasonably use to defend themselves, I don't think that you should have any license for that. Now, private security is different because you might use that weapon in a professional environment. There's a good chance that you might actually use that weapon. So in California, you do not, right now as I speak, you do not need a taser license. You don't even have to go through training. Will you be in violation of policy? Yes. Will you be negligent in your training standards? Yes. So if negligence is an issue and you have no training at all, I don't think you're gonna win that fight in court. I think that you should have the taser training. As for the taser license, I'm gonna say we need it in California. And the training, our firearm instructors, our training cadre, whether it be pepper spray, even taser. Now we do have academies out here that train with the taser, but I want to say most cadre or most training instructors they're good. I give them the benefit of the doubt, but there are some sketchy instructors out there. Let me know if you know of any sketchy instructors. I know of an instructor that you can go to, and if you miss all your qualifications, you could just pay your way, and you'll be up to date. The 2-day class. So this particular instructor, it's like he profiles you in a way. He looks at you. If you look like a gun guy, a guy that goes shooting all the time, your 2-day course turns into, we'll say 30 to 45 minute course. You know, it's a quick one. Now, this is some time ago. I'm not too sure this person is in practice. In about 8 years, like when I retire, I am going to mention some things that are going to upset some people in the training business. But I've seen some sketchy things, especially with people who are on advisory committees. And if you're on an advisory committee and you're reading this video, I know what some of you guys have done in the past. So we'll leave it that way. I just being a hypocrite just drives me nuts. So there should be training. And I think that sooner or later in California, you're going to have a taser license. If you're in another state, let me know if you need a taser license to carry a taser. I mean, your chances of using a taser compared to maybe a baton or firearm, they're a lot greater. I just don't understand why California doesn't have a taser license requirement. Now, some instructors, there was a guy that bashed me on YouTube on one of his videos. He said the reason why I'm bashing instructors or bringing someone to light is because that I want to promote my own business. Guys, if you call me for taser instruction or firearms, you want me to qualify you in firearms permit, I don't provide that service. I don't provide that service. I don't know why this person was bashing me on the internet, so I don't have any intent to explain what other instructors are doing over there. The only intent is for you guys, so that you guys know. Now, there's a taser instructor. I'm not going to mention this person's name because I talked to it's probably one of our subscribers. I talked to a lot of you guys. So this person's website, there's like hearts all over. It's a girly page. There's hearts all over the place. This person says, I'm a taser instructor. I am well qualified. And then list the qualifications, which are almost nothing. So I'm wondering, hey, do you have any real world experience? I'm not asking you to have actually deployed a taser in a real life environment. I'm looking at your overall picture, your overall package. Like, where have you worked? And I'm not asking you, I'm not demanding somebody be in law enforcement. Just because you're in law enforcement, that doesn't mean that you're up here on the training rung. There's people that might be in private security or maybe just in the martial arts that have a higher skill set than even law enforcement. That does happen sometimes, but this person's skill set I would just question. And this person has a lot of huge following, positive reviews. They love the taser training. And then some of the information that's presented on this website is wrong. It's wrong information, and it's edges on misleading. And the problem is this person's webpage or website, it pops up every single time. Anyhow, so I want to say yes to I want to say yes to a taser license, but not a different tier of unarmed. I know David from the Security Guard Command has different feelings on that, on a different tier system. His explanation is a lot different than I think Benton's. I like the tier system that Security Guard Command had. He explains it in other videos. Basically, if you have this level of training, you're on a tier 1. This other level of training, you're on tier 2, and then tier 3. Clients should be hiring guards that are on a tier 3 system. And based on David's proposal or his perceptions on this, I don't believe that the top tier involved armed. It just involved a higher level of training. I believe it was de-escalation or something like that. So I'd say no to the armed taser permit. Maybe reclass or call it something different, or have a different structure where just a taser permit. Otherwise, if you guys have any concerns, let me know, and I'm looking for the feedback. Thanks.